This is my travel kitchen. I don't know how I'm going to get all this into just a carry-on and with all my clothes, but we'll see. Hi, it's Eunice from Theory of Simple. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my videos are all about home, car, plane, or train. I'll have you prepared for just about anything. And today's video is going to have you prepared to cook while you're on the road. Maybe I should say cook while you're flying, because if you're on the road, there's other things you could carry. But when I'm flying, there are certain things that I sometimes bring with me that are a little more convenient and allow me to have a kitchen wherever I am. You're going to want to stay with me to the end because I have one special item that I don't always take with me, but I'm telling you, it truly is like your stove top in a box. So stay with me till the end and I'll show you that. Maybe I'm not going to cook a gourmet meal with any of this stuff, but these things have gotten me through in a pinch of being stuck in an airport for a long time, arriving at hotels or Airbnbs where things are shut down and late and I have no way to get any food or have any food to brought in, or even if I'm at a friend's house and I'm up early and they're not, or vice versa. I am going to be going to bed really late and I don't want to be rummaging around in their house to make a cup of tea or coffee. These things are things that I carry with me. Some I carry with me on every trip and some I carry with me occasionally, depending on where I'm going, how long I'm staying, what I'm going to be doing on the trip, and who I'm going to be with. So let's just cover the whole spectrum and let you figure out what you want to bring on your next trip. What this is not going to cover is the bento boxes and snackle boxes that I carry almost every trip for my in-flight bag. I have a couple of videos on those and I'll put them here or here somewhere so you can go ahead and take a look at those. These are actual items that I would pack if I needed to be cooking at an Airbnb or maybe something like an efficiency, or even if I'm at a friend's house or something, I would bring some of these with me. The other thing I want to say is I am not sponsored by any of these products. These are all things that I've bought. Some of them I've been using for years. Some of them are relatively new. I will link everything in the video description below, at least everything new. And if it's something old, I'll try to get the updated version of it. But I have bought and used every single one of the things you see on this table. There's just so much stuff here. I don't know where to start because I'm kind of excited. I know this isn't exciting for many people, but it is for me because it's a comfort thing. It's about being comfortable wherever I am. So let me pick something first. This is an immersion heater. So you'll just plug this into a wall and then you're going to set this down into your vessel to heat up. Now, that being said, you're not going to set this just in any vessel. You're not going to set it in this plastic bowl here. It's going to melt it. But I will say if you can find a silicone cup like this that has silicone that's heat resistant, you can put this down in there. And what I would just make sure is that there's this tiny little hook right here that you want to make sure that that is on the edge of your cup. So see this one, it's not really deep enough for it. And as you can see, the metal hits, but I have one here that's a little bit deeper, and then I can set this down into this cup, allow this to sit in here so it's not touching the plastic, but this is okay to touch the silicone, especially if you put water in it. So you want to put water in here first, put in your immersion heater, then plug it in, and that way, as long as this metal does not touch the plastic rim of this cup, you'll be okay. And this cup, once the water gets hot, what's great about it is it's all textured, I guess, on the outside, ribbed, so that anything really hot in here is not going to burn your hands. It'll be warm, actually kind of nice and warm, but it will not burn your hands. And because this is heat grade silicone, you'll be able to put this in there and again, heat this right up, and this will bring your water to boiling. So these two things come with me pretty much on every single trip, so I can get hot water for soup, tea, or coffee. This is a great combo to have. I like to keep my immersion heater in this, and the reason why is because If this gets hot, I try to rinse it off in some cool water to get it as cool as possible. But if I need to get going, I'm going to just go ahead and push this into this silicone bag. This can take some heat, so that's why I use it. Is if I were to put it in one of these other plastic bags, it may melt it. So I keep my little immersion blender. I keep my little immersion heater in this silicone bag. Again, it's heat resistant. It's not going to melt it. And it's always good to have a little silicone bag for food or anything like that. So this is another thing that can be useful on my trip to put leftovers and things like that in. And speaking of hot drinks, I will sometimes use this set with me if I want to make a pour over coffee. So if I'm going to be going to somewhere like an Airbnb or something, or some sort of efficiency that may or may not have a coffee pot, this is going to allow me to put coffee right in here, set this right on top, do my pour over coffee right into this little cup. And what's really nice about this is I don't have to put a filter in it. It has this metal screen in here that's going to go ahead and filter all the coffee for me. And then I can use this over and over again every day just to make myself some hot coffee. So this is a great thing to have if you're a pour over coffee person and you don't want instant coffee. Okay, now that we're talking about heating hot water, I want to bring up this next pot. This is not something I would very rarely bring with me unless I was going to some sort of efficiency, because usually Airbnbs have pots and pans, but many of these hotel efficiencies or extended stay places don't have anything anymore. They have like nothing, no plates, no forks, no nothing in these. It's like, why do you even have these efficiencies? You can't use them. There's a coffee maker in there. But this is a great bowl slash pot to have. And I'll tell you, if you want to have something where you have heat soup up in there, you can do it. If you want to make oatmeal, you could do it. If you just want to heat hot water, it comes with this great little lid. So this way, when I go to heat, and actually I want to tell you, I can put my immersion heater in here and use it, but I can also set this on an electric stove. Now, I've not used it on a gas stove, but it is a camp pot that's made to use a little propane burner on the bottom of this. So if your gas stove maybe was low enough that the heat didn't lick up around the sides, it would be fine. But I put this on my stove and tried it. It boiled water. The lid itself has a nice little hole here and pour spout, and the handle is great because it holds it in place so I can pour into my cup and get hot water. And the other thing you can do with it is you can actually use it as a tiny little pan if you wanted to cook some eggs or something in here. This is a aluminum bottom, and you could put some butter in here and cook some eggs in here if you wanted to. So if I was going to be staying, like I said, at an efficiency, a lot of times they don't have anything there. This I would bring along with me and be able to have a little cook pot to use in my efficiency. I also bring then this little trivet. This trivet's great because once it's off the stove, I have this to set on it. And this one I got, I don't know, I might have even gotten this at the dollar store. I don't really know. Honestly, it did not come with this. But I can set this on there on the counter and it'll keep it from burning. Also, if it's hot, I need to handle it or something, I can use that. And I also set my curling iron on it. So you know me, multi-purpose. It has to be multi-purpose, which is this pot here. Hot water. If I wanted to cook some eggs or something in here, I could. Hot soup, cup of noodles, macaroni and cheese. This pot will do it for you. So it's a great little travel pot, as you can see right here. Just something I bring if I'm staying at an efficiency or something like that. I'm going to move on to a couple things here with regarding to containers for food. This is another great little box, and it can be used as a bento box. You can bring some snacks on the plane with it. What I like about it is it has this beautiful wooden top, and I also like this rubber band thing. It keeps it on really tight. But this wooden top is nice because if I am at my efficiency or wherever I'm going to be, I can use this as a little cutting board. So I can put some things and cut some cheese or cut some vegetables up on here and use it as a cutting board. I can use this to heat things up in the microwave if I needed to. It is not completely water resistant. In other words, if you put liquid in here, there's no seal on this wood right here. So there is a chance it could leak out. But for salads and just different things that aren't too liquidy, I would use that. And again, this little band holds it all together. A great little bento box to have. The second set of vessels I have here are these plastic ones. They are ultra, ultra light. And what I like about them is they fold completely flat. So they snap together like this, but now they fold completely flat. So now you're able to slip this in, even like a computer bag behind your computer or something. And there's 3 sizes. This is the cup size. This is the bowl size here. And then you have like a little plate, which is kind of nice for like a salad or something like this. And again, they all fold or unfold flat, which is nice to have. So the other thing is if you want to just use this to serve some like cheese and crackers, what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't use it as a cutting board too much. I mean, it seems like you can. It's pretty good, thick plastic, but I wouldn't want to cut through it. But what's nice is they all just fold completely flat, and this is a great way to have a little set with you. You can lay this in the bottom of your suitcase if you didn't want to bring it in your carry-on or in your personal item. Put it in behind your computer. You can see it folds really flat. It's kind of curved now because I've had them sitting for a couple of days curved all up, but really nice to have. Now, I will say I wouldn't drink really liquidy stuff out of this because when I tipped it to drink, it came out of the little corners. And to me, that's no bueno. It's not really a cup per se to me. But if you wanted to use it as a small bowl for oatmeal or soup or salad or pasta, these work great for that. This next one is probably one of my favorites, and what I like about it is it's collapsible, as you can see here. So I can pack some food into this, and it's watertight. So if I wanted to pack a big soup or some stew or have that in here, I could. It's also the fact that I can put this in the oven as well as the microwave. Now the lid cannot go in the oven. There's something about the plastic that it cannot, but this can go in the oven. This can go in the microwave, but it cannot be used on a stovetop. But if you're traveling and you want to put a nice big salad with some things in here, this will seal it up nicely. You can have your little snack or lunch on your flight and then just take it to the bathroom, rinse it out really quick, and fold it all back up. And that way it just takes a little bit less room in your pack. And then when you get to your destination, you have something to put food in, to heat food in, to make a salad in, even make a casserole or something and put it into an oven. So that's what's great about this little thing. And I love that it's clear so I can see what is in this container. This next set of containers is really small, and I tend to use these a lot for just travel where I'm going to be maybe in a hotel room or even at a friend's house where I'm not going to be doing any cooking per se, because you don't really want to cook in these things. But these are things that I've used backpacking, and these are watertight. You can see the lid screws off here, and it becomes a nice little bowl for salad or something like that. And again, I can put this lid on here and it'll be completely watertight, so that way I don't have to worry about it spilling, inside of, let's say, one of these bags or something like that. And they have a few sizes. I just have these two because I think they make them bigger as well, but I just have these two. And you can use this one as a cup or as a small bowl. This one, if you wanted to make overnight oats, is great because you can put your oats in here, do your overnight oat stuff, put the lid on it, keep it sealed, and then in the morning you have great overnight oats to go ahead and eat on the plane, something like that. So these are great to have. You'll see one's a little bit deeper than the other, but one's a little bit wider. Great things to have for travel. And again, once you're done eating, just go to the bathroom, clean it all out, smash it all down, put the lid back on, and you'll see here it just is all sealed up and ready to go back into your pack, taking up very, very little room. This set is not oven or stovetop safe. This is really more of just a container with a watertight lid that you just want to bring something that is not needing to be reheated on any of those items. Now, I've never tried heating anything up in the microwave with these. The bowls themselves are silicone, but the lids are plastic. I guess you could take the lid off and do that. This one has a plastic bottom though, so I'm not really sure if I would put this in the microwave. And so these are just great for things you don't need to cook with. Now you've got your vessel to eat, and now you've got your food, but now you need something to eat with. And I've talked about these in a couple of the videos, but I like to bring my backpacking titanium knife, fork, and spoon set. Now, depending on where you live, this knife may or may not be confiscated at security. I did have this knife looked at once. They did pull it out and look at it, and they let me go with it, but I've never had it taken, but only once have they looked at it. What I love about these is they're super lightweight, and then this little locking mechanism right here just slides down, and then all you have to do is fold these into tiny little utensil set to take with you on the go, and they're very lightweight. So if you need a full set and you'd like to have a little knife to butter your toast or cut a sandwich really quick or cut some cheese, these work great. And then I will bring them with something like this sometimes and just take that on my on-the-go meal, or even with any of these things. I would say for something like this, just be careful with cutting into the bottom. It is silicone on the bottom as well, so I would just be careful about cutting into the bottom of something like that. If this is still too much for you and you don't want to carry all three of these tools, this is a great alternative. This is my new favorite. This doesn't have a knife, which this way I feel like this is not going to get confiscated. I have not traveled with this one yet on an airplane, but I do carry it with me now because it's so small. You'll see here on this end it has a spoon. You're not going to get a lot of soup all at once with this thing. It's much smaller, as you can see, than this spoon. But if you're stirring up coffee, eating a yogurt, something like that, this works great. And it simply just folds like this and becomes this tiny, look at this, tiny little spoon and fork. It has a little hole here so that you can put something like a carabiner on it and just put it on the outside of a pack or something like that. Super, super convenient. So this is one of my new favorites. If I don't want to take all of this, you can see that this is basically the size of one of these things right here. And I get two things all in once, and just really love this. This is my new favorite right now. Of course, with me being Asian, I am going to always want to carry some chopsticks with me, and these are my favorite. They are rosewood, and they screw together with this brass area. I don't know what they're, brass parts that screw together. And they have their little pouch, and I don't know what I did with it, but it's a tiny little pouch that holds these little chopsticks just like this. And that way I always have chopsticks with me. And that way if I'm cooking something like in this little pot, let's say I'm cooking something that's some vegetables or something like that, this becomes my little utensils to get in there and get into my pot. And I can actually eat right out of this pot. I could actually do like noodles and vegetables and eat right out of here. And so I always like to bring a set of chopsticks with me because I can eat with them. I can also cook with them and things like that. And again, with these kind of things, you can cook with them as well. But I always bring a set of chopsticks with me. Jumping back to beverages for a second here, I want to go over this little item here. This is a little tea strainer, as you can see here. What you do is you load your tea in here and then just close this down. Someone's at my door. Give me a second. All right, sorry about that. My 92-year-old neighbor had a clogged sink and I had to go fix it for her. Okay, let me get my breath. Where was I? Tea, I think it was on tea. Okay, so you put your tea right in here. You close the screen down, and then, I should just leave this open. I don't like it. You can set your little tea immersion tool right down in here. This will also work great on thermoses. It just hangs off the edge here, and then you can get yourself some tea if you like loose leaf tea. This is a great thing to have. When I'm on long trips, I don't want to pack a lot of tea bags, but I will sometimes go and buy tea, and then I have this to make myself a cup of tea at night, so handy thing to have. The other thing I have is this straw. Now, this is one of those stainless steel straws, and it becomes very small, and it fits into this little pack right here. It comes with its own little cleaning brush to clean it out. And I bought this little silicone tip because sometimes I don't want metal on my mouth. I don't know, I just don't like it like that. So I bought this little silicone tip, and then what I do is just screw this little straw together, and this becomes a little straw, and this tip also makes it just a little bit longer for me. So if I have a drink like that can have an opening in the container top for the straw, this will go in. But again, this will allow me to just drink and have a straw that's washable on my own and reusable. And believe it or not, when I've gone camping, I've used this as a bellows to get a fire going or something like that. So multi-purpose. You can suck in or blow out on this thing. So always think of those things. What is multi-purpose and what can you use it for? Now we're going to go into storage of food. The other bags I like to carry are some of these little flat plastic bags. Now they're made of some sort of food grade plastic, but you'll see how thin they are. They're really tiny, and I like the size of them because normally for me, if I just have a little bit of a leftover, it can go right in here. And I also have some other sizes that have some happy little lemons on them, so some bigger sizes that I sometimes bring along with that. And in this one, as far as food storage, this is a great thing. I love these little things. They're like little tiny shower caps for your food bowls. So if you have food in a bowl, and let's say it's this one, and I want to put a little cap over it, I can. And then they have different sizes of them, and they go right over your little bowls to keep things a little fresher or keep bugs out when you're on a picnic. And they fold up so small. I mean, look at this. They're just like little nothings, right? Like this. Great thing to have. And if you had to use the shower cap, I guess you could. But like I said, if you just need to keep something covered out on a picnic, these are great to have. Or if you're in, like you said, an Airbnb and you don't want to be buying all these single-use plastics, bring these with you, wash them out, and then I just stick them back in this little bag, and then I have them with me all the time. So these are great to have as well, these little bags and these little covers. Also for food storage, I like to bring sometimes these little wax papers with me. These are great to wrap up a sandwich, but you know what's really great is for some reason, and I wrap up a piece of cheese in this and then put it like in the hotel refrigerator, I don't get mold or weird stuff on it. It doesn't have any moisture. So it's something about the beeswax, I think, and the cloth that you just wrap up. Let's say this was my cheese. By the way, this is just a cut up piece of sponge because I don't want to carry a whole one. So I have a little scrubby to clean everything. But let's say this was cheese. I can just go ahead and wrap this all up. And I think it's because of the fact that it's not completely airtight and it lets things breathe. It'll go ahead and keep my cheese just perfect for me. So that's great to have. And again, going out on a picnic, you can lay this right out and it becomes like your little plate of cheese. And you can put some stuff right on out there. And when you're done, take it back, wipe it clean with a little bit of soapy water, not too hot. You don't want to melt the beeswax off. And then just fold it up and save it to use for your flight for food on the airplane. These come in a variety of sizes. You can find these now like at almost any grocery store. So from large ones to small ones. I always carry one or two of these with me on my trip just so I have something to wrap up some food if I want to go on a picnic or something. All right, this next thing is these tiny little jars. And there's one salt that I love that it's called chipotle bacon, smoked chipotle bacon salt. And I carry this with me on trips because I can't just get it anywhere. It's something I have to order, and sometimes it takes a while to get it. So I'll bring something like this side that I can sprinkle on eggs or in my soup or something like that. So that's great. And what I love about these containers is they're individual and they're great for putting in like salad dressings if you want to take a salad with your little bowl and have that. They're clear and they also just screw together like this. So if you had several different dressings or seasonings you were taking out on a picnic or something like that, this is great to have with you. I love this. You can also use these for like creams and stuff like that, but I bought them. They're food grade, so I bought them to put some seasonings in that I can't normally get. Normally it's just that one salt, but I'll bring like an extra one in so that if I have some sort of salad dressing I want to mix up and take with me, it's right here. Now you know how I like everything to be multi-purpose, and these silicone bags are great because I can put ice in this bag and use it as a cold pack for headache, or if I get a contusion or some sort of ankle sprain or something. These are great. Also, if you take your little cloth and you put it in here with hot water, you can use it as something to put against your back to help keep some warmth on your back, and then just take your rag out, reheat it in the microwave, put it back in here, and then use this as a warm pack against your back. So hot or cold, food or immersion heater, these things are great to take with you on your trip. Now, I don't know what happened to the footage of these bags right here, so I'm adding it in really quick. These bags are great. They are cloth that are vinyl coated, and it's coated inside and out. So as you can see here, highly washable. You can put them in the dishwasher. You can put them in a washing machine. You can wash them by hand. Give it a little insulation. So if you're packing some sort of snack for the plane and it's got to be warm or kept cold, this will do it for a little while. And then when you're on your trip, you can reuse it again for, packing a little snack, going to the beach, going out for a picnic. And what I also love about it is they come in all of these really fun, different materials. There's tons of them. I'll put a link in the video description. Have fun with that. They're just a fun thing to carry. And again, something that's reusable, so you don't have to buy some sort of single-use plastics. I use these all the time. So obviously I talked about this little sponge. I took a sponge and just cut it into like thirds because I don't need, nothing's big and huge in here. And I did this in case I needed a scrubby, in case something got on there, like in the bottom of this pan or something. But I also have taken just these, this is actually one big sponge. And it's one of these like Swedish sponges, and you just basically get it wet and it expands a little bit to become a little sponge. And again, when you're traveling, you don't have big things, so I just cut it up and use it this way, and that way I can go ahead and wash all my things out. As far as soap goes, I usually use Wilderness Wash. Quite honestly, I have that with me pretty much all the time because you can wash everything. Your clothes, your face, your hair, your body, your dishes. It's biodegradable. So if I wanted to use it outside camping, I can pour it out and it's not going to be harmful. So I carry Wilderness Wash with me pretty much all the time. And then that's what I use to wash. Oh, one last thing is I have shown you guys this before. Now this is from REI, and I don't know if they make it anymore, but this is a tiny little towel, basically. You can see right here. And so this becomes my dish towel, my napkin, my dish towel. That way when I washed everything with this or this becomes the towel I dry it with, and then I can just hang this, and literally this will be dry in like 30 minutes, completely dry. So these really thin, I wouldn't even know if this microfiber, it's really, really thin cloth that I would use to dry out. And then I can also, I told you this on a couple of things, is if I needed to have it as a napkin on the plane, and because I'm always spilling something on me. See, I almost knocked that over. Always spilling something on me. I can put this up here. Sorry for the noise against my mic. This up here, and then I take a little clippy hair barrette and I just put it right here, and this way I'm not going to lose my napkin off of me onto the floor, and then I can easily wipe my hands or my mouth with this, and that way I have something to protect my clothing. Like I said, I wash this, it dries in like 30 minutes or something like that. So just a really great thing to have, to be able to have your complete kitchen ensemble with you. Oh, and last but not least, a chippy clip. I always bring a chip clip thing with me. There are a variety of uses for this, by the way, besides just, clipping your chips bags closed. I use these on my hangers to, my little portable hangers I bring to hang my clothes. That's a whole nother video. I'll do a whole laundry room that I bring with me video someday as well. So I think that's it. I think I've covered, oh, one little thing, I forgot this. I was talking to you earlier about a cutting board with the wood here. Well, if I don't bring this and I have something else, I don't want to necessarily be cutting on this. I guess you could. I think it's pretty good. This is literally a dollar store, the larger dollar store cutting boards, the plastic ones. You get like 2 for $1. And I just cut it down to size so that it would fit into like one of these things or something. I think I cut it to fit into here. So that now fits into this little bag and I can bring this along with me. So that's just my little hack of the day. This is probably worth like 10 cents. Oh, there's one more. One more thing I forgot to show you because it's sitting in my guest bedroom. This tiny little electric kettle. If I'm going somewhere for a long period of time and I know I can at least get to electricity, this is wonderful. This little electric kettle opens up to this, and then the handle locks into place so you can have a handle to handle the hot pot. But it has dials on here to let you go for different levels of heat. So this has digital readouts on here that say water, noodles, keep warm, boil an egg or tea, and then it has a delay time starter. So if you wanted to start it a little bit later, you could do that. And obviously there's a little menu button here, but you know, for a little tiny thing like this to take with you, you can make pour over coffee with it. You can make noodles with it. Problem. Yeah, we got a problem with that. Yeah, didn't read the directions. When all else fails, follow the directions. Now that's what you call a cup of noodles. My glasses are all steamed up. You can boil eggs with it. All right, here we go. Let's try one of these. These eggs are perfect. If I can get a cup of coffee and a couple of hard-boiled eggs in the morning, I'm good to go for a good part of the day. Perfect. You could put a stew in here, and this is, to me, is really, really one of my favorite things to bring with me. If I'm going to be traveling, like I said, somewhere where I'm going to be in a hotel room and I just don't want to be eating out all the time, and I can cook a couple of meals in something like this. Even sometimes at a friend's house or at my son's house, and I don't want to be getting up, you know, really late at night to go get something, I'll plug this into my room and make myself some nice hot tea or soup like that. So this is one of those great things to have, and it's just so small, folds up just like this, and other than the power cord that comes with it, this is it. This is a great little lifesaver if you need to have something warm in your belly. And I'm sitting here editing this video when it finally dawned on me that one thing I had been forgetting, the one thing I carry in my wallet every single day, a can opener. Because you can't open this without this. For those of you who don't know the story, I was checked into an efficiency. It was late at night. I went and bought a can of soup at Walmart. I came back, I'm hungry, and I go to open the soup and there's no can opener anywhere to be found. And I went without food, and it taught me a lesson to always carry that little can opener with me everywhere I go. So I think that is it. This is my kitchen in a bag ensemble, and I don't carry them all. I kind of just think about what I'm going to be doing or needing during my trip, how long I'm going to be gone, what are some of the activities I'm going to be doing while I'm going to be gone, who I'm going to be with, and then I kind of alter that. And then also if I'm going to be using these on the plane at all, I just think about what do I want to use on the plane and what is going to be easiest for me to pack to get the most into my personal carry-on, and then go from there. And then some of these will go, if I check a bag, into a check bag, and some will go with me on my carry-on. So I kind of split it all up and, you know, pull it together differently depending on each trip. But these are just to give you some ideas of things that you could take with you to make your cooking and eating life a little bit easier and cheaper on the road. So I'll link everything that I can in the description below. If it's something older, I'm going to try to find a newer version of it, but most everything I think I can still find and get links for you. And also, I'll put some links to some other videos up here to let you know some of the things about bento boxes and things like that that I've done before. So if there's other videos you want to see me do, please put those in the comments. Let me know. I want to make these videos for you, so please let me know. What do you want to see on my channel? I'll happily look at those and be sure I try to get some of those videos made for you. And until the next time, as usual, juice life, drink the joy, keep life simple. Make sure you pack your kitchen with you. I'll see you in the next video. All right, David just tasted it and he said, this is what we're having for dinner. So, gosh, I got to make a video and make dinner at the same time.